Easy now. How are you?
Hi.
How you doing? I was having a nightmare with the link then. How's it going?
Yeah, did you have problems?
Yeah, just a few. That was my own problems. No one else's.
I'm
How are you?
good. I'm good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Very excited about tonight.
So am I. So am I. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. I don't know if you saw my email.
I did. Well, I saw it. I kind of, yeah, a little glance. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. So anyhow, I hope this is working with the YouTube live. I hope people are watching. If it's not working with the live, I'm recording this, so it will go on YouTube afterwards.
Great. Great.
So welcome, Declan, to our Scarleteers Q&A. The first one, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. And for anyone else watching, this is Declan O'Dwyer, our fabulous director. And we have 1 hour to talk about everything Miss Scarlett and the Duke. And first of all, thank you very much, Declan, for your time tonight.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Thank you.
I should mention that it was basically your idea to do this Q&A, and then you just let me do whatever I wanted to do with it. Gave you free reign. And I think
it all started off as a giveaway. It all started off as a giveaway for the hoodie.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's kind of snowballed.
Totally. So I should say that this is a really unique thing. I don't know of any other cast or crew members who would do something like that, just a Q&A with the fans live on YouTube for free.
Oh, that's who we make it for.
That's really special, you know? I think. So anyhow, without giving too much away, you also helped me with a few surprises that we'll have later tonight. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, about the Q&A, we are only 38 days away from the big premiere on PBS Masterpiece in the US on the 17th of January. So we should try.
At what time on the 17th? What time is it going out?
7, 8 Central, I think.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I was hoping you knew.
No.
We'll find out in about 30 seconds, don't worry.
Yes. So yes, we should try to keep it spoiler free for any American fans watching this or any new fans watching this. There might be a few giveaways, but keep it spoiler free. Okay. So for any new fans, could you describe the show in like 2 sentences?
Oh God. I would say Miss Scarlett and the Duke is chronicles the misadventures of Eliza Scarlet, the first female detective in Victorian London. And I'll have to think of something to go with the Duke as well, because obviously I like Miss Scarlett and the Duke. You have to leave that one with me.
Okay, good. I'll come back to you later, right?
Oh God, yes, and get the grey matter working.
So recently, only this week, the show was sold to Norway, so it's going to air in Norway very soon. And I have a very good friend in Norway, Mona, and I told her immediately, you have to watch this show. It's the best show on television. You have to watch it. And her question was, what show would you compare it to? Like, what is it similar to?
I'd like to think it's a modern day, despite the fact it's kind of set way before, but Moonlighting would be my closest. You're probably too young to remember Moonlighting, you know, but it's a great will they, won't they relationship at its core, and that's the same as Miss Scarlet and the Duke. So that's the closest I can think of. Yeah, that's probably one of the closest. Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually not too young to remember Moonlighting.
Okay.
But I was a big Remington Steele fan, and I always thought it sounded just like Remington Steele.
Yeah, there's definitely, you know, those shows, they worked on the dynamic of the relationship. It didn't matter about all the plots and the stories and stuff. And at the core of Miss Scarlet, we've got that fantastic dynamic between Eliza and Duke, and but with it, Rachel's woven these great stories as well. So we kind of get the best of both worlds, really.
Good. Mona is unfortunately too young to remember either show, so I had to send her the trailer, but I think that covered it.
I'm sure you can get them on YouTube. Have a look.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also gave some fans the opportunity to send in questions and ask these questions live here on the Zoom, and they're in the waiting room.
Wonderful.
And the first one I'm going to let in is Linda.
Linda.
I hope this is working.
Yeah, well, we'll find out very shortly.
And it says joining. Yep, here she comes.
Here we go. Put your video on, Linda. She's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Floating around in the ether. You can see the little mouse in the corner of the screen on the.
Yeah, it's working.
Should we go back to Linda in a minute?
Just checking.
Oh, here she comes.
Ah, there she is.
Hey, Linda. No, she's still not there.
Still connecting to audio. Hello.
I'm afraid I can't sign. I'm really sorry.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? No, you, no. Whatever. It actually just worked. Like 10 minutes ago, we had a test. We tested this and it worked.
It's always the same. It's always the same. Murphy's Law. Don't give up, Linda. Keep going.
You can do it.
No, she can't.
No.
Would it be easier to dial back in? Oh. Well, while Linda's doing that, I'm going to just have a coffee. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Not too much noise. Shall I mute it? No.
Oh, she's being attacked by her cat.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I'm used to that. You know, when you work with Rachael, you have to realise that the cats will attack. So, because they always do. Anytime Rachel's ever on a Zoom, there's always a cat in shot.
Ah.
So we're not getting anything from Linda.
Not working.
Right. Let's go for some more questions and we'll get back to Linda.
Yeah.
Linda, dial out. Can we send Linda a text and get her to dial out and come back in again?
I'll ask the next person in and then.
Wonderful.
Text. Hello, Amanda.
Hello, Amanda.
Hi. Linda's having problems, so we put you in first. So here's Declan. This is Amanda. Go ahead.
Are we still waiting for? Hello, Amanda. Hi. Can you hear me? I can't really hear you.
Can you put up the volume a bit?
I'm trying to.
Oh, there we go. Hello.
Better.
Yeah. Okay.
How you doing?
Hi.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Right. You have a question?
Yes, I do. Are you ready?
I hope probably not, but go ahead.
It's an easy one. What was your favorite scene to direct in the whole of the series?
That would be Stuart taking his top off. Simple. There is no more to that. That's no. It's a difficult one actually. That's actually really difficult because.
Oh, okay.
Because it was great fun. It was such fun going in every day, knowing that we had such witty, sharp dialogue, and the cast were fantastic. So it was you know, we had a very difficult schedule, so it was there was those pressures, but it was always a joy to, you know, I'm the first audience, I'm watching them do their stuff. So as for scenes, it's so difficult to say, because I think one of the first ones was when Eliza goes, one of the first, when it kind of really landed just how good they were together. There was it was one of their first scenes together, I think, and it was when Eliza goes into the Duke's office in episode 1 and she sits in his chair. That it just you know, it was just a lovely scene. It was witty, it was sharp, it was the Duke being wrong-footed yet again, even though that was the first time we saw him being wrong-footed. That was our introduction to him as well. So I really enjoyed that scene, and every time I see it, I kind of just can't get over how good they are together, and that kind of set every scene. They kind of upped it a little bit. So, but that was the one that kind of where it registered the most, because, you know, Kate came in, she did her stuff, and she wrong-footed Stuart, and it was a joy to watch, you know. So, and the best thing about those two as well, they were obviously they're working under extreme pressure, but you never got that. You just got this witty repartee, this banter it was bang 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 bang, very very Oscar Wilde. Some of the text, the way it flows and stuff, and they nailed it. And, you know, and the Duke being a man of his time, she shouldn't be saying at that time, she shouldn't have been saying the things she was saying and behaving the way she was behaving, and so he's wrong-footed at the same time. He has a lot of admiration for her. So seeing that develop, and the frustrations that brings with it as well, that was great. And there were so many things like that. There's another one of the scenes was when Kate had to fire I don't want to give anything away, but she has to fire a gun, and it really tickled me every time she did it. It just really made me laugh. There was a scene before it which is the one that kind of really leads into that, but yeah, that really tickled me as well. Oh, and there's one other as well, but that doesn't matter. That is
no
a spoiler.
spoilers.
That is a spoiler. So.
Well, that is my question, and thank you for answering that.
Thank you for asking.
Not at all.
Okay.
Great question.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Right. Good stuff. Right.
Yeah. So, Declan, how did you become a member or a part of Team Scarlett?
I had a call with Rachael, you know, just jobbing director in the UK. So, you know, you get sent stuff, some great stuff sometimes, some not great stuff sometimes. And I got sent this for the first script, and it was as well, you know what it is. It was so good. And so I jumped on a call with Rachael, Zoom call with Rachael. It might have been a Skype back then, actually. I think it was Skype. I don't think Zoom had quite matured. And then I was just about to fly out to Los Angeles. And so I had the call, didn't know how it went. Rachael was lovely, and her cat was in the shot as well. So that was even better. I might get my hamster out in a minute and let him run around. And then I went to Los Angeles. I met with one of the execs over there as well, so I knew it'd gone quite well. And then they offered me the job, and I read the rest of the script sitting under Santa Monica Pier, and then I flew back and then went straight out to Dublin. It was that quick. It was, you know, it was great. It's when you get offered great jobs, it was so nice, and everybody was lovely as well. That was kind of everybody that I met linked to the project was just so lovely, and they all had this passion for the script because it all came from the scripts, you know. So we were very, very, very lucky. Well, I was very lucky. That's how I came attached. Yeah.
So from my experience, I can only say that everybody's really super nice.
Well, yeah. Well, the great thing I had as well, one of the real benefits was that I knew that Stuart and Kate were attached. So when I read it, I didn't have to picture who it was. So I had that world built for me in, you know, 360 color. It was great. It was the dream job. It was a dream job.
Okay, then let's go to the next fan question, which comes from Georgina. Let's hope this works better.
Hey, Georgina.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
And thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for doing this for the fans. And
oh, not at all, not at all.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you, thank you for being the fans. We we make it for you guys, and it's just, you know, I'm glad that it's landed so well, and people are enjoying what we saw in it. You know.
Yeah. I would like to say it is one of the shows, like I'm saying this with all seriousness, that kept me sane in early lockdown. So it was like one of the things I could schedule on a Tuesday to watch with my mom, and it stopped me from going. Yeah. So thank you for that.
No, thank you for watching. Yeah, great, great.
So my question is, I know you shot the whole series like at quite a short space of time, but which one was the hardest to film? Maybe just in terms either of logistics, storyboarding. Was there one in particular, or were they all?
It was a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. We episode 5 was particularly tricky logistically, and just where, because we shot episode 5 last, and there were scheduling things around, and so that was logistically really quite difficult to make work. But episode 4 was particularly troublesome as well, just in the fact that we had a certain amount of time to be in certain places, and more content than we could actually shoot in a day. You know, there was the usual things that you get on every show, amplified because it's Victorian London, and you've got the costumes and the makeup and all that. And we had the best costume and makeup team and hair team, and oh my god, you know, and our DOP was amazing. It was so fast, and so we lucked out really. Our Irish crew they were sensational, and we would not have got through it without them, because, you know, they pulled a rabbit out of the hat every single day. So, but yeah, Ep 5 was probably the trickiest, I would say.
How did you find the building? Actually, I suppose the building where I suppose the Duke and Eliza have this showdown.
It was several buildings. It was several buildings.
Was it?
Hence the reason it was so logistically difficult. We had a Colm, our location manager, is again sensation. He went out and he found these buildings that had not been bastardized by, you know, modern, you know, although we had that problem everywhere we went, to be honest. You know, you've got electric light switches, you've got everything you could possibly, just like the things you don't even notice in a day-to-day basis. Yeah, they were slightly problematic. So our design team, Patrick Smith, our designer, just designed us out of trouble every day. And, you know, it was a massive team effort, and everybody got behind the scripts, and so therefore we knew what we had to do, and we just got our heads down and did it. But 5, it was so many locations. I think it was 4 different locations to make up one location, and we went to actually Wicklow Jail as the main part of it. And again, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but that's a museum now, but it's brutal when you go in there. It's fascinating, but it's just a dark history that you just really, you know, it's not nice. And I'm sure many of my relations are in there, or were in there. And so that was 5 was difficult. But the beauty of 5
did Rachael write anything? I'm curious, did she write anything originally in the script that you kind of went, oh, that might be a bit of a problem, or was it all quite?
No. Rachel's one of those writers that she writes it as she sees it, and she's got this inbuilt story machine in her, and, you know, and what's right and what's wrong, and you know, there were logistical things. There were things like, we can't shoot this at night because our shooting day is 12 hours, and if we go over that, there's overtime. All the kind of technical things that kind of get lost, that shouldn't really affect your storytelling, really, but unfortunately they do when it comes to the practicalities of making something. So and her and Ben both, they wrote us out of trouble all the time without ever damaging the story. I don't feel they ever damaged the story, and I don't feel they ever damaged the character. And my job was not to let the schedule damage character or story, same as theirs. So, you know, yeah.
Oh, as I said, it's great. Yeah, it looked amazing. There were no Starbucks cups moments, so yeah, everything looked very.
Yeah, they were painted out. We got those painted out before. No, we had no Starbucks, but there were enough modern things that just things like double yellow lines and power cables and oh my god, buses going past, and you're like, no, that's blocked off. You know, So there are of course it's nigh on impossible without big Hollywood budgets to do this stuff without certain things creeping in. So but again, our design team, our DOP, Russell, he lit it so beautifully, and the thing was, it was never we made this very conscious decision never to make it look like it was lit by anything modern. So it always felt like it was lit by gaslight, so there was always that smoke in the room. But at the same time, you don't want to go full Victorian, and it sounds ridiculous, but you don't want to go full Victorian, and so all the dresses were ruined. There's still that couture feel to it. So you try to go as real as you possibly can, but trying to get the tone right, because it's very difficult, because you might get if you make it too gritty, the comedy and the lightness of touch might not come through as well. And they were pitch perfect in the cast. So I think if we'd have gone too much darker in like having loads of muck on the floor and all that stuff, I think we would have come a cropper, I think, with tonally.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the things I really love about the show is the mix of adventure, but also the romance. Because as somebody, I'm a romance reader, so I'm kind of used to a lot of kind of shows kind of looking down a bit on the romance, but I really loved Miss Scarlet because it kind of embraced it, and it embraced the comedy as well. It wasn't trying to be so serious or take itself so seriously, and that was something I really loved about
Great. But the thing is, again, it dealt with really serious issues, but it didn't ever preach. It just that's Rachael. She's got this wonderful, just this wit and this charm, and it was a joy to work on, and I love her. I think she's great. She wrote the phone book, I'd direct it. It's so brilliant.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you
for your questions.
Thanks, Regina.
Bye, Georgina.
Bye.
So I think we've come to our first surprise.
Oh yes,
there's somebody in the waiting room.
Who could this possibly be?
Who could that possibly be?
Turn that away from me. Sorry, I'm just making so much noise. I'm so sorry. Blah blah blah.
Hi.
Oh, here she is. Here she is.
She's still connecting to audio, it says. Can you hear us, Rachael?
I can. Hang on.
Hello.
See me?
I can hear you. Yes. I can see you.
Can you actually see me? Have I got my? Oh yeah, I've done it. I haven't.
Yeah, we can see you.
Hello, Isabel.
Hello, Rachael.
Happy Christmas.
Oh, it's almost empty. I'm
sorry. I'm on coffee.
Declan's got his rum in that mug.
That's the trick when you're in Zoom meetings. Put something in a mug, like whiskey or rum, and then you have to blow in it to make it look like it's really hot. Something, tea, coffee, or something.
Perfect.
We know that old trick.
How are you, Rachael?
Yeah, I'm very good. I've strategically placed myself in front of the poster for you.
Don't recognise it. I'm sorry. Who?
It's just some show. I don't know.
Some show.
I
love that poster. I love that poster.
So have you been having a nice Q&A?
Yeah, I think so.
You're not sure?
Actually have one fan still in the waiting room. Her audio wasn't working earlier, so we put her back in the waiting room. We can try again, and then she'll get the shock of her life, because nobody knows about any of our surprises happening tonight.
Well, if she can't connect, she can always email, and we can always answer whatever she needs.
Well, I have her question. If she can't talk, then I'll ask the question for her, but I'll give her a second chance.
Excellent.
Rachael, how would you describe Miss Scarlet and the Duke in 2 sentences? I got the first sentence, but I couldn't get a second sentence because words aren't my thing.
Well, I think London's first female lady detective. I would say you do it in 1 sentence. I think that is a sentence. London's first female. Oh, hello. She's
Linda back.
Hi, Linda. Can you hear us?
No, Linda's done a runner again.
No.
We can answer her. What's her question? Linda, what was your question? What was her question?
Oh, look at the cat.
Oh, is that Scarlett?
That is Miss Scarlett, our
Oh,
group
Scarlett.
mascot.
She's very similar to my cat, actually. In fact, I've had to shut my cat upstairs because she tends to like to join our Zooms, doesn't she, Declan?
Oh, she does.
You might have a bit of a weird thing for Declan because every time he Zooms, she's just like scratching and banging at the door.
I have that effect on feline. What can I say?
So I'm going to ask Linda's question. I have it here.
Okay.
Linda, your question. Linda wanted to know why there are different versions for different countries. There are different versions for the UK, for Australia, and for the United States. And I think actually the UK version is shorter than the American version. And why is that? And how does it make you feel as creative people?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, the basic answer is it's down to the broadcasters. It's down to whether, you know, they're commercial broadcasters, so whether they show commercials, adverts, or whether they don't. So you have to deliver different sort of durations. In terms of how it makes us feel, we're used to it. So you know, that's just how it works. So you know that when you're going into a project, you will probably have to deliver. Oh, Linda's fallen on the floor. You will have.
I'm back. I got sound now.
Ah, we can hear you now.
I can hear you. I couldn't hear anything before.
I asked you a question, so Rachel is just answering it.
Hello,
Lovely,
Linda.
thank you. Hi.
Hi, then.
Hi, Declan.
How's Scarlett the cat?
Very bitey at the moment.
Ah, joy.
As in, she's literally attacking me occasionally.
It's because she's seen Declan. That's why he has that effect on. Apparently, according to him. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
I was just answering your question. So yeah, we deliver different durations according to whether the broadcaster is a commercial broadcaster, so whether they have commercial breaks or not. And yes, in terms of how it makes us feel, we'd obviously love to deliver the longest version possible, but we know that, you know, it all depends. So I feel fine about it, really. When I'm writing it, and I'm sure Declan feels the same when he's directing it, in your head you're imagining the different commercial breaks. The biggest thing is to just make sure it works with or without breaks and make sure it makes sense. So but that's part of the business.
Yeah, because so far when I've been watching, I've got the New Zealand DVD box set, thanks to my brother who lives out there. I've seen it on Alibi when they've sort of obviously just screened it, and then I've watched the box set version on Virgin TV, and all three seem to be different. They have different cuts sort of taken out, and it's sort of yeah, I keep thinking, did I imagine that scene? Was it definitely there? It's not full scenes that are taken out, just little bits of it.
Right.
Sometimes it's full scenes. Again, it really depends. It depends on the running time for the broadcaster, you know, who your lead broadcaster is. Not necessarily lead broadcaster, but just in different territories, you have to make different lengths, you know. So sometimes it's certain scenes surgically removed. But a lot of the time it's not, especially when something's so woven like the way Rachael writes. It becomes very difficult to take stuff out without damaging a payback for something a bit later on. And so and also one of the things it does do is it affects the music cues and things like that. So you have to be quite skilled surgeon really to take the stuff out. I think Rachel's fantastic.
We're across it, so it's not really like we just give it to sometimes you're watching a show and it's just it sort of is edited, you know, goes to commercial break halfway through the scene. That hasn't been the case with us, and as the way I write, and my writing partner Ben Edwards, who also writes on the series, he has that very much in his head as well. So, and we talk about, you know, where that commercial break would go, and when Declan was in the edit as well, he would keep that in mind about what the versions, you know, the different length of versions, and then I had my turn in the edit. So it's a real everybody's across it, so it's not a problem. It's not a problem. But
Yeah.
thank you for watching in so many different.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's real commitment. Well
I'll be
done.
buying the DVD when it comes out over here as well, or hopefully Blu-ray. So
Excellent.
Yeah, so will I, hopefully.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But thank you for your question. That's great.
Great question, Linda.
So-
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Have a nice evening.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers,
Bye.
Linda. Bye. Bye. Great.
So that worked. Yay.
Yeah.
Now I can't get rid of it.
Oh, she's back. She's back.
Can't get rid of Linda.
Now
Oh,
she's gone.
she's gone.
Okay. I have a few more questions, but no more fans calling in. Just other people. Maybe.
Maybe.
You filmed most of the series on real locations and only a few scenes on built sets. What's the difference filming on a real location? Like, what are the challenges versus filming on a built set? And what about the finished product? How does it change the finished product?
I'll jump in, Rach.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the only sets we actually shot on were the backlot at Ardmore. The rest of it was on location, and that was a street set. Where she's seen it, and we used it quite extensively. And I prefer shooting on location because I always treat my locations as a character in the piece. So, and I often find that you sets are shot. They're built for convenience of shooting, and for me that changes the dynamic and changes the way you shoot them a lot of the time. So when we went to the set, the backlot at Ardmore, I still shot that like it was a location with all the restrictions that you would have, and there was all these things blocking. The frames were never quite post chocolate box pretty. They were always slightly annoying. I can't quite see around that corner, and sometimes you have to do that for practical reasons, like there's a scaffolding tower holding a light, for instance. But a lot of the time, so I prefer shooting on location. Shooting location, shooting set is always much easier to shoot because it's tailor-made for your purposes, easier to move around in and all that, and you don't have any of the problems with trying to hide cables, trying to hide electric light sockets, trying to hide air conditioning units, alarms, all those things that all historical buildings now have by law because of health and safety. We have to cover all those up, which then makes you end up, why is that piece of wood there when it shouldn't be? And of course it's not, it's covering a whole an alarm system or something. So so the practicalities of it are frustrating quite often. You have to work out how to cover things, but like I said, our design team, Patrick Smith, our designer, was so good, and the dressers, they were so good at hiding all the modern stuff that it didn't catch us out that often. And when it did, we were aware of it, so we augmented some of it with CGI, but not a lot because we didn't have that kind of budget. But at the same time, you can frame a lot of it out. It's what your eye sees. It's not just because you can see a load of double glazing windows there, you turn the camera a foot facing the other way or block it with a carriage, and you can't see the double glazing. And you can see the Victorian building. So.
I felt it's completely opposite of Declan. I really loved being in the set. Main reasons, you didn't have to deal with the general public. The other major reason was Declan was always in a much better mood because we weren't all stuck in somebody's house with their smoke alarm going off, with crew and everyone. Basically, imagine sitting by a monitor with like 5 people pretty much sitting on top of you. There's smoke everywhere. Everyone's really stressed. Declan is trying to run the show and it's really, really stressful. He did a brilliant job. Whereas when you're on the set, it's like, someone will bring you a cup of tea, or, it's just much more relaxed and a bit more fun, I think. It's not as, it's definitely much calmer. But I think when you're actually looking at the finished product, it looks better when you're on location. Testament to Declan's skill, the backlot, so the street set, when I look back at the show, it doesn't look like a set to me. It looks really authentic and beautiful, and that set has actually been used on lots of different shows, and I have seen it, and it does look a bit like a set. But Declan's skill, like he gets in the corners, like he was saying, and he makes sure it's not it's all done at funny angles, and so it does look like a Victorian cobbled street. So yeah.
Yeah, again, down to what, as I say, but that's down. Our designer did a fantastic job, and our DOP, Russell Gleason was phenomenal. So he just made it consistent. So location looked like set looked like location. It didn't. He was great. So I had that great team just making it work. So yeah, I was really happy with that.
Okay, just skipping a few questions here because you already answered them. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
A little bit more specific questions that I had. Was William always a Scotsman, or was it just something that came along with Stuart Martin, or was it just always the idea that William the Duke is a Scottish person?
No, it was very much Stuart. In fact, I remember I was out walking. I was stuck on a plot point for one of the episodes, and he messaged me. Stuart had already been attached. He's got a cracking English accent, so he wasn't. Duke wasn't going to be a Scot at all. But he messaged me and he sort of said, I've been thinking, how would you feel about me being a Scot? And my first thing was because obviously it's going out in America, and sometimes it's you have to be a little bit careful with accents, and I wasn't sure. I can understand everything Stuart was saying, but some people might think his accent's quite strong, but he was sort of very reassuring and said, I'd be very sort of careful, I wouldn't do it too strong. And I was like, do you know what, I think that's a great idea. Bring something different to it. And as ever, just spoke to the rest of the team, because this again is a very it's a team run show, and they were like, yeah, fantastic. So yeah, it was very much sort of led by Stuart with that, and I think it worked. I'm really glad he did.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see. That's a question for later, actually. But all the different characters that they have, all different backgrounds. I think the Duke is from a working class background, from Scotland somewhere. We don't know any specifics, and we have Eliza, who's middle class, I would say, and then Rupert, who's like really rich.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask a question, Isabel? Sorry to bounce it back at you. Did you have trouble understanding Stuart?
Me?
Yeah.
I watch Outlander. No,
just interesting,
No, I'm used to Scottish accents, because like Outlander is the perfect training if you want to get into.
Of course.
I think Stuart's from Glasgow, and I think if he really gave you the Glaswegian, I think I wouldn't even understand what he was saying, but he was very, very careful. So yeah, I think it worked brilliantly.
His accent is really light on the show, and I know that a lot of American fans are complaining that the accents in Outlander are too strong and they can't understand them, and they have like closed caption on, and then I laugh because English is not my first language, but I understand them. I think the question that was asked the most by people was, when is season 2 coming out, and what spoilers can you offer us?
Well, season 2, we are in the throes of just sorting that. Everything has slowed down because of COVID. The whole industry has, basically come to a halt. But everything's picking up again now. So it's all looking very good to be filming next year. In terms of spoilers, I think the thing to look forward to with season 2 is the biggest thing for me, the feedback I had, and the thing that myself and Ben, who wrote the other episodes, was we really, really enjoyed writing our core cast. Eliza, Duke, Rupert, Ivy, Moses, Mr. Potts, and we really want to concentrate on them and develop them even more. I think particularly Duke as well. We want to dive into this into this man that we don't know that much about, where he comes from, and see him develop. I think that's really intriguing. So in terms of, and obviously we explore Duke and Eliza's relationship. The last time we saw them, they were walking arm in arm into the sunset, very pretty sunset. And yeah, that's probably all the spoilers I want to give you. But I think we've got a very enchanting cast, and I think people really emotionally invested in them, and that's what they want to explore. That, so we've got lots of lovely things for Ivy, well, all of them actually, and they are huge fun to write for, so it's very exciting.
Yes, everybody's really interested in the backgrounds of each character, learn more about them.
Yeah.
Where do they come from? How did the Duke end up in London alone? Probably. What about his family?
Yeah, that will all be explored.
Okay, and everybody wants to see the kiss, without giving away too much, the kiss that happened in the past.
Yes, well, I'll just say that there will be some kind of kiss in season 2, but maybe not how you imagine it. I'll leave it at that.
It'll be me and Stuart.
You and Stuart.
Yeah, me and Stuart. I think we can manage that.
Looking forward to it.
I better shave though.
Don't encourage him, Isabel.
That's what I usually tell him. Don't encourage me to do any stupid things like live Q&As.
You're doing a sterling job. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, is there any chance that there will be more than 6 episodes in season 2? Because we all think that 6 episodes is not enough.
We haven't decided yet. It's sort of, we're kind of deciding that. Personally, I kind of like the 6 episodes. I like I like people wanting more. I'd much rather, I think less is more, but it's been such a huge success that we're still in talks really. So we'll see. We haven't quite decided yet.
So with Christmas coming up, we also discussed the idea there could be a Christmas special episode, and then maybe because it was Prince Albert who introduced the he didn't introduce it, but made it popular in the UK in the 19th century. Maybe the Hildegardes could introduce some German Christmas traditions to the rest of the Miss Scarlet and the Duke family.
Maybe. I mean, I think in answer to that question, a diplomatic answer to that question, what's lovely about this show is it's the 19th century, it's London, it's a melting pot of so many different nationalities, and we will absolutely be expanding that and having, really having fun with that. So there could well be a Christmas tree, a German Christmas tree. It won't probably feature in an episode, but we will probably have the Christmas special at some point, definitely. That would be really fun. I'd love that.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. If you need any help with German traditions, you know where to find me. Are there any plans to introduce any historical characters or historical figures, I should say, into the storyline?
We have a very nice storyline. There's a storyline that features Darwin, because it's during that period of time. Again, and we have chatted about this, and we have sort of in our writers' room, we have sort of thrashed out different ideas, because it was a really exciting time for medicine, for science, for inventions. I think what we came to the conclusion was, and I think the whole team feels this, is again, it's kind of like my last answer, but again, it's our core characters that people really seem to be invested in, and they're the ones we're probably sort of focused on more. We'll obviously have all the lovely sort of detective strands and elements, but I don't think we need it. I don't think we need something that big. I think it works quite nicely without having some big historical figure. But yes, we definitely have a nod to Dickens, and certainly Darwin in season 2. So it's going to be we've got 2 very fun episodes about them. So yeah.
Just saying that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote Sherlock Holmes, he published a study in Scarlett in 1878. Coincidence?
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
Certainly not with the Scarlet name. That was definitely on my mind. That and Miss Scarlet, and I've got a cat called Scarlett, so she would have been insulted had I not kind of, named an entire show after her.
You mentioned the core cast members of Miss Scarlet and the Duke, and that leads me to a few more people who are in the waiting room.
Hooray!
Shall I let them in?
Oh, go on. They can't get in anywhere else.
No, no one else will let them in. Are they drunk?
I hope so. Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Isabel.
Hi, Stuart.
How are you
doing?
I'm very well.
Have you got your mulled wine ready?
Yep. It's a chilled mulled wine.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, guys. Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Christmas indeed.
All right, Gower.
All right, Stu.
How are you?
All right, mate. How are you?
Very well, mate. It's been a long time since I've done a Zoom.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Hi.
It's been a very good job.
It's exciting.
I haven't seen you lot for ages.
You look great, Dick. Everyone
Yeah, you
looks
look
great.
fantastic,
go-
Declan. Love the new hair.
Yeah, loving the look.
It's just this is the old man look. This is
That's the
It's
young
not,
man look.
It's not. I think it's the sort of 25, mid 20s, early 30s look.
no,
You look great, Dick.
So anyway. How are you all? You all look radiant. You all look radiant.
It's the light.
Garrett's in shadow, apart from that. Hey, he's back.
You ready for some questions?
Oh, yes.
How's it been going?
Very well.
Good so far.
I think
Great.
she's going to grill you now.
Yes.
Where are you,
Just a
Isabel?
little. What? Sorry.
Where are you? Are you in the States, the UK?
Germany?
Germany, are you? Okay.
Yes, I am German, actually.
In Berlin?
No. It's a small town in the middle center of Germany, and it's called Coburg,
Okay, nice.
which is known in the UK as the birthplace of Prince Albert.
Ah, there you go.
Saxe-Coburg, yeah?
Yes,
Wow.
the very one.
Points there.
You can remember that for the next quiz.
Yeah, exactly. I'm nicking that. I'm writing that one down.
Andrew, is there something wrong with your audio? Because I think we can't hear you.
Hang on.
He's
Oh, no, there he is. He's back.
Great.
Okay. So my first question for you, can you describe your character in 2 sentences?
For me.
All of you.
Can I
Just
go
you,
last?
Andrew.
2 sentences.
One will do, Andrew.
Confused and cuddly. Cuddly. Whatever you can cuddle somebody. Yeah.
Lovely.
The 2 C's. Cuddable and confused. Cuddably.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
Stuart?
Go on then, Kate.
I would say feisty and headstrong, and always gets the last word.
Very good. Yeah. And Mr. Martin, what's yours?
I'm worried I get it wrong.
We are testing you, Stuart, so
I know, Jesus, I can see.
just writing notes. Sorry, go on. What are you about to say?
Overworked, but emotionally sensitive.
Nice.
Did Kate write that for you?
Yeah, she did. I was just check. I've got my phone here.
I thought that sounded a bit familiar.
Overworked and under what? Did I say it right?
Very good. Very good.
Did you, or were you given any backstory for your character? We just talked about that we don't know much about your character's backstory. Like we don't know where you came from, for example, where did you came from, and did Rachael tell you anything about the backstory of your character, like to give you more information?
Loads. To the there was so much stuff there that we don't see in the series, in series season 1, and there was so much stuff that before we even started that you have a written down page of certainly the Duke's background and where he's come from, and it hasn't actually really been touched upon. So it's really lovely. You get all this really in-depth backstory of where he was, how he became a part of Eliza's life and that family, and there's little touches of it, but it's I like that it's not. And here's the big bit about it's lovely. We get to have that, and hopefully it feeds in. So it's throughout. But it's not this suddenly, let me explain to you about my backstory. So that's a really lovely thing. I think it's very subtle.
I was saying before you came on that, because Isabel asked about whether it was planned from the beginning that Duke would be Scottish. I think that was all you decided that you said, what about, whether I could do, be a Scot. And like, my only concern was how strong the accent was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But it worked brilliantly, didn't it? I think everyone loves the fact that the feedback has been completely absolutely love the fact that you
only because I can only do Scottish. No, but he felt very, I remember he felt very I felt very comfortable with him in that accent, and that's not to say that he is, but you often read things and it says, oh, that they're from here, or that's the accent. And even when you're auditioning for stuff, you go, yeah, but I feel like he's there. I mean, maybe that's just me, but sometimes you go, yeah, it feels like that. That's where you connect to it. And I think he felt very, to me, this sort of Scottish, it brought something slightly different. And which you said to me once about the outsider, and then that was all brought in about being, as the Scots were then, and the Irish, it's you're an outsider and you're of a different class, and that was, another level that then Rachael put into it and added into it as well with that change.
I think you're all three of you are outsiders in a way in society, because like Eliza is a detective working woman in Victorian times, and Rupert, spoiler, can't say, is an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
We decided we won't give away too much, because there might be new fans watching, like Americans that haven't seen the show yet. So, sorry.
I think just to answer your earlier question as well, I with Rachael having given a huge amount of backstory, which was really helpful, but I also think that the scenes are packed full of character and subtext themselves. So in a way, you just have to play the scene for how it's written, which is why it was so fun and sort of easy to navigate your way through each scene in a way as an actor, and was a complete joy to play for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think the beauty of it is that, like as Stuart said, and with a lot of good writing, is it kind of gives you like ideas of what you can bring as an actor, and that's what Rachel's work did, especially for me, and I'm sure for these guys too. Is like it you don't need everything explained. It allowed you to kind of bring what you think and then chat to Rachael about it and chat to Dec about it, and that's a nice thing about good writing. There's, you know, often multiple ways you can play stuff, but the nice thing is, you know, when you revisit these characters and when you do television, you get to play multiple episodes, so you can kind of build and carry things forward or leave mistakes behind. Yeah, so it's that's the nice thing about this project, is I think a lot of good actors were allowed to bring like their own personal whatever they want to do with a character, as well as the amazing writing. So it's kind of like the perfect match.
Yeah, we were, Dec and I were very, very lucky with these guys, and with the cast in just in terms of they had the kind of bare bones of what we'd like them to do, and then it just every single time they enhanced it, and they brought something different to it, and it just got better and better and better. And that was, you know, that was from day one, which is really unusual.
Yeah.
So, it was really it was such a fulfilling experience. It was very beautiful, actually, just to see these
And for
guys
us,
in their roles and just really enjoying themselves, but just bringing something extra to it. It was lovely. Yeah, we were very, very lucky.
There was a question here, and let me just jump in, sorry, Isabel, just
Go ahead.
hijacking. There was a question Isabel asked earlier about what was your favourite scene. Oh, there wasn't, might not have been Isabel that asked it, it was somebody else asked it. Stuart, what was your favourite scene to film?
100%. Like, you often get asked this and you go, oh yeah, and you can't quite pick one. But I absolutely loved the one that we did this. I mean, it was probably a 6-7 minute long scene that we did in the jail.
I would say exactly one
in Wicklow, and it was amazing, and it was a culmination of what I was going to say about how you directed and how you guys were as the creatives on it, which was to trust us and to really allow us this, you know, oh, on you go, have a play, you know, and you would come in and say when it was wrong, but that scene was such a sort of culmination of that, if that's the right word, in the, you know, we had 7 minutes to just play over this door, and that scene has everything in it of the whole, you know, their whole relationship, and we were allowed to roar, and we were allowed to laugh, and we were allowed to have, you know, our emotional beats, and it has everything in that scene. It sort of really sums up their relationship, and it was such like a joy to do, because you just let it run, and then we just kept doing it, and it was like, you know, not to be like, it was like theatre, but it was really
this is the one where Eliza's stuck in the cell, and you're talking through the grate to her.
Exactly. That's why I enjoyed it, because we used to lock it at the start of every scene, and she was stuck in there. She couldn't hit me. But
you say that, Stu, and it's really interesting, because you're so right. That scene sort of is their whole relationship in one, you know, 7 minute dialogue moment, but it's all happening in, you know, this space as well. So technically, you know, it's incredibly demanding, and it's really exciting to kind of have that kind of restriction in a way when you're doing a scene like that. So it's, you know, something really exciting always happens when you're given only a very few number of things that you can do. So for that reason, it was such a fun scene, and also that was our last scene we ever did together.
It was, of course, it was. Yeah. Wow. On that season, but I never thought about that you are constricted to. That's the beauty of it, and that is why it's so long, and that's why they have to go through all those parts of the relationship because they can't go anywhere. Normally one of them would storm out. Normally the Duke would storm out, you know, but actually they both characters had to stay in there and sort of go through. So you get to see this push beyond where they would normally go, and you see that they sort of come back to a real place of love and affection. You know, I think it was lovely.
Andrew, what about you?
Oh, God. Probably my I always like the first time as in Eliza's house. So with my mom.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Yeah,
Great scene. Great scene.
Yeah.
Fantastic as my mom, and first time I met Kate as well. So that I always like to get the first scene out the way in any job, and that was just nice because I realized like I'd landed on a set where yourself let me do the crazy things that I wanted to do, and you know, you just wanted us to play. So that was, yeah, I'd say that scene with the glass eye. I won't say some of the others because I don't want to give away any spoilers. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Yeah. Great.
Before I forget it, Andrew, is it too late to wish you a happy birthday? I know it's been a month, but
it's been a month, yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Andrew.
Happy birthday, Andrew.
Happy birthday, Andrew. Month late.
I know, a month late, Stu. God, where's Stu? My ASOS order's in the post, though, isn't it?
Can I also say happy birthday? I'm sorry, I'm late. I think I did. Did I say it to you the other day? No, I didn't.
And as your maybe #1 German fan, let me also congratulate you on your German on the show. That was really awesome.
So much.
Did you have a language coach?
No, I didn't. You know, just had Google Translate and, and a couple of coffees in the morning to give it I think the worse I was to say the German, the better in a sense. But I mean, it kind of came across quite well.
Yeah, it did.
But it was luckily you didn't give me too much, Rachel, did you?
I didn't, but I was just thinking of that scene. I think it's in episode 6 where it's a very, very funny scene where so Rupert and Duke are together, and Duke's looking. No, it's in episode 5, same episode that you guys talking about. I think this one of my favourite scenes where Duke is looking for Eliza, and he's gone to Rupert to say, you know, when was the last time you saw her? And Rupert is trying to show off to this young German kind of that you know he wants to marry, and Andrew just nailed it. Well, they both nailed it. Stuart nailed the whole how uncomfortable he was.
It was very funny on the day.
And they just nailed it. And actually, I think it was in maybe the next episode, one of my favorite scenes was between Eliza and Rupert when he's smuggling in a secret message from Moses, and Eliza's getting very exasperated with him. But it goes back to what Declan and I were saying earlier, which is when you put these guys in a scene together, it's really magical. They really riff off each other. It's funny, it's moving. They're fab.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
But with, you know, it is great. It's not always like that with the situation set up on set with the writing and the director. And I have to say, we said at the time, but it was an amazing sort of freeing experience because you know you can rely on a brilliant script that, as Kate said, you know what you're playing, you know the character, and you know the way that Dec directed it to just sort of go, right, let's, you know, on you go, and you rehearse it, and then it was sort of like, you know, you'd gone through it a couple of times and then it was ready to shoot. And very often, especially in television, it's like you're, you know, from the first line reading, you're being sort of maneuvered, and then you don't know where you are and what you're doing, you know. And so it was a really amazing experience for me to be able to have that freedom and go, yeah, I'll try that. And you feel like you've got freedom to do stuff. It was amazing. So thank you.
apart from Deck with his whip, have you covered that, Deck?
That was the sort of subliminal
Not
messages
yet.
he was sending, the directing
There it is.
messages.
It was a very
There it
huge
is.
set, but he did have a huge what do you call it?
Quickly, say quick. You can't say
Indiana,
quick.
Indiana Jones whip that everyone was quite nervous.
I'm leaving that one,
When he
leaving that.
needed a break, he'd get this like whip out, and everyone was like, "Yeah, that means come on, get in your spots, get on with it."
Like, I can't believe it has its own hook on the wall as well. Is
Yeah,
that
it has its own hook on the wall, mate. Yeah, yeah. Only take it off when I'm shooting. That's
He
it.
does
It
run
goes
a
in the
tight
bag.
ship, Isabel. So
It's got its own flight case.
We were going to get you some throwing knives to put in that case for next
Well,
year. I
we
don't know what you thought of
We
that.
should talk about throwing knives, because that was when Isabel mentioned about one of the scenes earlier. She was saying, what's your favourite scene? I'll tell you what my worst scene was, and that was the one where the gentleman was throwing knives
Yeah.
at Elise. That was a
episode
moment.
1.
Yeah, the gentleman didn't quite grasp what we were saying.
Was he
He
actually
got there in the end, didn't he?
No, he
Fine
wasn't.
tuition.
Yeah, he got there. He got. Oh dear me, he got there in the end, but there was at one point it looked like he was going to let go of one of the knives. And there was me, the stunt coordinator of the first, and everybody else running in front of this. No, you drop it. Oh, it was quite amusing. Bless him. It wasn't his fault, but it was, yeah. It'd been shown to him about 30 times. And he's just, bless him. He was so nervous. He just didn't. Anyway, he did it well in the end. So it was, but that was my moment of no.
Isabel, I know that some of the just on sort of your site and Twitter and various sort of people that feel that kind of have joined your Facebook group, lots of them have sort of asked about sort of how the costumes and the look and everything like that. And I have to say, Kate really went through it in terms of the makeup and the hair and the costumes. Sometimes it was boiling hot. The days were super long. And she never moaned once. And they were sometimes they were quite uncomfortable, those corsets, weren't they?
I forget that.
Full on.
But I was really lucky because those outfits we all had, I think all of us here had, those costumes were tailored for our bodies. And I think I even had a corset that was made for me. So I was really lucky.
It was cashmere, right? So it was very, very hot.
I think I made the mistake in the first day or two, going around saying, "Have you seen my dress? It's made of felt. Isn't it beautiful?"
That must have done well.
Yeah, I'm fortunately I don't think it got back. No,
Leonie, by the way.
Yeah, Leonie. She's amazing.
Which one was your favorite dress?
Oh, too many. I think I loved the red, my sort of red prostitute dress. the one I wear with the like little choker.
Yeah.
When the one she wears to sort of go, a girl about town. That's my fave.
That's a great one.
Mm.
We did a little Q&A a couple of month ago. I only published it like last month, I think. But you mentioned, Kate, a scene where you couldn't stop laughing, a scene with Rupert. You couldn't stop laughing. It was in the last episode, and I was trying to figure out which one it was, but I can think of a few, but I don't know which one.
I think it was that day on the sofa, Andrew, in the bay window.
Oh.
And it's that classic thing where I actually think that maybe I was the one that couldn't stop laughing, and it's that awful moment where everyone thinks it's funny for about 5 seconds, and then 5 minutes later everyone is like really anxious and hoping to finish the day, and you cannot pull your shit together. So that's, I think, the look on Declan's face, I think
he's gritting his teeth, isn't he?
Yeah, this isn't funny for anyone apart from you. What was that?
Time was not on our side that day.
On any day.
Or any day, yeah.
So yeah.
Stuart, do you remember a scene with the shop boy. Eliza was trying to get information from this boy who worked in that shop, and the boy wouldn't give her the information. And then the Duke came in and yelled at the boy.
Yes.
How many takes did it take to film that scene?
I feel like it was. I feel 20. I feel like it was.
Just the usual.
Well, I feel like we started and Dec came in and said, go for it. Like, really shout. You know, I was probably down here. And he went, go for it. And so I think by the second or 15th take, I was, you know, and then that just brought out the comedy of it, you know, that Rachael had written and I hadn't understood. Yeah, but you know, to really play those things, and that's the beauty of these characters. And what I love about Duke is that he goes boom, boom, and he, you know, not apologizing for it while you're doing the line. And I think what I was doing was sort of apologizing for the shouting as I was doing it. And, you know, Dec said, go for it, and then you apologize. And I was like, yeah, brilliant. That's the comedy that's there, you know. So that is you know, just a lovely thing to play.
That scene always makes me laugh.
I love it. Yeah, it was so much fun to play.
Did your throat hurt afterwards?
What was that? Sorry.
Did your throat hurt afterwards from shouting?
I think the take that's there, I feel like we only maybe did 3 of them. Because on that one, the one, you know, you can't quite finish the line because you're like, oh, you know. But yeah, it was fun.
I love that. It's in the trailer actually. It's with the guy. He was fantastic, and then Kate comes in and she sort of pretends that she's this, you know, genteel lady, and then she says, I'm a private detective, and she does it, she just nails it. It's so funny. There's so much comedy to it. There's
so much comedy in that scene. Yeah. Like it has so many beats, how you've written it. Yeah, that's such a joy to play, the jump betweens and then going there and going there. Yeah,
they're hard to play, but just sort of say they're so hard to play naturally, and you guys, it never felt forced, and it always felt like it was. That was for me as the first audience looking at the monitor. I was always just like, this is gold. It's just gold, and it's, you know, and it's I had very little to do in that sense. It was magic to watch. It really.
We had a lot of, especially with Danny Midwinter, who played Frank. There was a lot of times, wasn't there, at the monitor where we would just lose it because he's very funny, Danny, and yeah, that was, we'd be like crying and just trying to straighten up the next.
Well, that happened quite often, not just with Danny, but just it was one of those. It was behind the monitor, and you kind of forget that you're supposed to be working because you're watching, and you just fall into the scene, and when that's happening and you know what's going on, it's, you know, often didn't shout cut or anything because I just fell into the scene, and it's been a long time since something's grabbed me like that, and it was, you know, it's down to the cast and the writing. It always down to the cast and the writing, but it was just really evident. It was, you know, we just put a picture on it, you know, a frame on it, and yeah, it was so nice to listen to and just watch it come alive, come off the page. It was fantastic.
Can you share any funny stories that happened on set during filming? I heard a story about someone got slapped accidentally a little harder.
I don't think that was very funny. I was beside myself.
Someone slap you or you slap someone?
No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't know who let that one out the bag. I am in one take, in the original take, when I slapped Matthew, I actually slapped him, and then they actually couldn't use the tape because I then like fell on him to try and sort of console him. I mean, he was very sweet about it, but yeah, I did, yes, there was skin contact. Contact was made.
To be fair, Matt wasn't on his mark, but let's not.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't think we can
Kate's
blame
lesson
you
to
for
him.
that one.
You know, but yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember there was just lots and lots of laughs, and probably when we shouldn't have been laughing. The whole thing, I was just, like Dec said, you had to keep reminding yourself that you just meant to be like sensible, and but you'd forget and you just be in fits of giggles. But yeah, it was great fun.
And fingers crossed, there will be many more funny moments and lots more giggles for you and for us, for the fans, because we absolutely love the show. And I mean, I have a special reason for loving the show, but I do love the show itself, even without that special reason.
Is Andrew that special reason?
Does Andrew happen to be that special reason? Yeah. Do we need to ask?
He's our special reason. We love Andrew.
Yes, I do.
I was the special. Andrew was my special reason for doing the show.
So we've actually run a little bit over time already, but do you have a special message for the fans, because this is like all for the fans?
Andrew?
Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank
you. Got you.
I just want to say thank you for all the support. With every series, to have a response that we've had with this one is just fantastic, and I think it gives everybody creatively and all the actors more energy to come back and give you more. So it's it's really amazing, and just have a wonderful Christmas, and hopefully see you all next year.
Hopefully, yes.
Go on, Kate.
I don't think I could say any better than Andrew, but thank you so much for watching the show and your lovely words and kind messages, and we hope to bring you season 2 in the new year and beyond.
Stuart?
Go for it, Stu.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching the show and for loving it as much as we do. And thank you, Isabel, for bringing us all together to chat about it, because it's really lovely to chat about things that you love and that you loved doing. It's a really nice thing to do, So thank you for bringing us all together. It's been really lovely.
Well, that was all Declan's work.
Thank you, Dec. Bringing us together.
Nothing to do with me.
No, it's lovely. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Isabel. This has been so much fun. And season 2 is on its way. We'll all be back together again soon. And thank you so much for everyone that watched. We really appreciate it. It was huge amounts of fun to make, and it just makes it all worth it to know what a massive success it's been. So thank you. And happy Christmas.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Andrew.
Declan.
Happy Christmas. I just, again, it's mirroring what these guys said. It's thank you so much for watching. We loved making it, and we love to continue making it, and we make it for you guys, and we're so glad that the audience has come along with us for the journey. It's been amazing. Thank you.
So on behalf of everyone, of all the Scarleteers out there, thank you very much for your time tonight to join us for this Q&A. And this was the very first time I did any of this, so I was terrified all day that something would go wrong. I'm so glad that it went well as it did. And thank you again. And I do hope we'll get season 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and many more, and the Christmas special. And
definitely. And it's to our big American premiere on the 17th of January.
Yes.
You know the time, because Declan and I totally failed with the time.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Well, okay. UK 8. Yeah. Oh, sorry. No. 8 o'clock.
America.
I think Central Time.
Only got one time zone. I don't know. 8 o'clock.
That's a good point, actually.
Boston.
somewhere in America at 8 o'clock.
On PBS, must be, yeah.
That narrows it down slightly.
So is it on at different times, or is it on at 8 in all the different time zones? Must be
No,
on 8
it's on at the same time, but
in different time zones.
yes.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes. So 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
but spread over whatever
whatever
the.
time zone.
Yes.
Interesting.
Anyhow,
So,
we'll look that up.
yes.
And again, thank you. Merry Christmas to all of you. Stay safe, stay healthy during this pandemic. We almost made it through 1.5 hours of conversation without mentioning the C word. Yes. And have a lovely time, and thank you so very much.
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you, Isabel.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas.
Merry
Thank
everyone.
you.
See you
Bye bye.
soon.
Bye, 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 bye,
Bye,
bye.
guys. Love
See
you.
you later. See you later. Bye, bye, bye.
Oh, how do I leave?
I don't know, but it's nice to see you.
Thank you so much,
See you
Isabel, by the
later.
way.
See you
That was
later.
Yeah,
brilliant.
bye.
Thank you. Bye,
Cheers.
guys.
Bye,
Yeah,
bye,
love
bye.
you, mate.